Hello guys, I just wanted to make a video calling it probably eating disorder recovery tip. So I want to make these like little short videos of a tip or two on recovery. So because it's hard for me to make one big video, and it might be hard for you to listen like 10 tips on how to recover. So I decided to make little short videos talking about a tip or two on recovery. And today's tip for recovery from an eating disorder would be putting food in categories. I know this might sound like, oh, but isn't that restricting? And no, I don't mean by restricting. This is kind of different because I did this and it helped me so much to recover, like so much. Because when you decide to recover, you're kind of like, oh, where do I start? What do I do? Do I just, and then, when I would think that, and what I would do is I'd go binge, and then I'd feel terrible and I wouldn't want to eat, and basically back to restricting, and basically that's not recovery. So my suggestion is to put your foods in categories. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but what I mean, like let me explain first, is having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. So for example, let's say you decide to recover right now. And that's the best way to decide to recover, is right now. And let's say, okay, I want to recover right now, and let's say it's about lunchtime. You kind of just think, okay, so do I want to have a lunch? If you haven't, had lunch yet, you're like, okay, I'll have lunch now, and then I'll have snack, and then, if I really want to, I'll have dinner. And when you first recover, you go through extreme hunger, so you'll always want to eat all the time until all your pantry's empty. You will eat everything, literally. So when I recovered, I plant-based right away, and that's what I would suggest, is to go like plant-based, or pick something that works for you. So don't just binge out on junk food, but pick healthy food. So for example, you have lunch and you're like, okay, so I want to have something plant-based, healthy, and obviously not restricting, but this will be my lunch. And just make yourself a portion. What would you think you would eat? You don't have to restrict yourself, so you don't have to, like, oh, I'll think I only have one potato. I think that would be best. No, how much do you feel will you eat? Do you want like 5 potatoes or 1 potato? Or so like, how much do you want? And actually that leads up to another tip. So there's my second tip, is to cook big portions and not like, just 1 potato. Cook like 10 chopped up potatoes so you don't see how much that is. And that way you just eyeball everything and see, for example, like, oh, okay, I'll just chop up like 10 of these potatoes, and then I could, have however I want for lunch, however I want for dinner, and so on. So make big portions, big portions of rice. You don't have to eat all of it unless you really want to. So let's say you make a big pot of rice, add some to your plate, add some veggies or beans, and then there you go, there's your lunch. And just sit down and eat down. Sit down and eat that meal you made that you thought you were gonna eat. And just, after you're done, just say, okay, that was my lunch. And if you overate, it's okay. You're going to get used to it. Because when you recover, you stop feeling these hunger signals. You don't know how it feels, and that's fine, because everybody goes through that. You don't know how it feels, and then eventually it will come to you. But when you're eating healthy, then you don't need to worry about anything at all. You're eating healthy, you're nourishing your body, so what's the problem, So yeah, just keep doing it. Like I said, my first tip was to put food in categories, and no time restriction. If you want to have breakfast now, have breakfast now. Obviously don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one meal, because that's kind of just weird. But just, okay, it's 9 o'clock. Don't wait like, oh, I have to wait until 10 o'clock to have breakfast. No, if you're hungry at 9, go have it at 9. If you're hungry at 8, go have it at 8. That's what I do till this day. Like, if I'm hungry and want breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll have it at 10. Sometimes I want it at 10, just because I'm just not hungry from dinner last night or anything. But don't focus on that now when you're first recovery. So just put foods in categories. Do not limit your foods. Do not make small portions. Just make a big batch of something and then put it on a plate how much you want. If you're really hungry for seconds, go for seconds. Then, you know, then have snacks and then have dinner. Just go through your day. Don't feel guilty overeating at a meal. Try to stop when you're full and you don't want the food. And like I said before, when you go through extreme hunger, it's going to be very hard to do that because you won't know when you're hungry or full. But just keep going with it and just continue your day, enjoy your day, do activities that you enjoy, like playing games or whatever you like to do. Relax, enjoy your recovery. Don't focus on it too much. Don't stress over it too much. Just try to go back and remember how you ate as a kid. It often helps to eat with kids or family that don't have a problem with the eating disorder, because they eat normally, and then you could kind of like see how they're doing as well. So yeah, those were my 2 or 3 tips. I think it was 2 tips on recovery, and I have more. Sometimes I can't think of all of them, and so I want to just share at least these ones, and I don't want to make a huge long video talking about 20 tips. Just 1 or 2 per video I think will be pretty interesting to listen. Just like a little tip for you to listen to, and it's easy to focus on it as well, because I could explain it more detailed instead of just being like do. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it helped. Remember that you are unique, you are special, you are beautiful, and you don't need to torture yourself with a disorder, something that's gonna take your life, that's gonna control you, control what you do, control everything basically. Enjoy your life, eat healthy, eat how much you want. Don't stress over it. Like I always say, you always have one life. Live it well. Use your time wisely. And I also often say that happiness and health is more important than any number on the scale, and just keep that in mind and keep going. And once you start recovery, in order not to relapse, I would really suggest not to look back. Don't look back at your old ways or old habits. Just keep going forward. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't look back. Don't say, oh, just keep it out of an option. It's not an option, okay? Going back is not an option. Recovery is the only option, okay? Just keep going there. Just don't consider relapse at all, and that way it will be easy, because when I recovered, I did not look back. I didn't even know what relapse, like I didn't know it was even possible. I was like, I'm healed, I'm done. And if you think like, oh, what if I relapse, then you might kind of start thinking about it more and more and then relapse. So don't think about it. Enjoy your journey, enjoy your life, and I hope that helped. And yeah, bye.